Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to WagerTalk TV. My name is Minty, and this gentleman here is Ralph Michaels. I'm sure you guys know him by now, at Cal Sports LV, and the gentleman next to him is Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas on Twitter.
It's been a long time since I've done a video with you.
How are you? Yeah. Hey, you dressed up for the occasion, too. Look at this.
Once I saw I was doing the video with Marco, I said, oh, my gosh.
Is this like your New Year's resolution? You're going to,
No, I said it in an earlier video. Last week it was 40 and snowing. I wore a shirt, and today I thought it was cold, and it's 60 and sunny.
Hot.
Yeah, it's
full
nice
disclosure,
today.
Ralph still has shorts on.
All right, guys, this Saturday we've got the Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Marco, please tell me you like the Buffalo Bills in this game.
I do like the Buffalo Bills in this game.
Me too.
And this is a spot where I've used them straight, but I also going to be using them on a teaser. I think this is a great opportunity for this team with the teaser. You look at this defense that they have. You got a top 5 defense against the second worst defense in the NFL in the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans are supposed to get J.J. Watt back for the playoffs, but again, after missing all that time, and with the injury that he had, how much of the arm strength is he going to have? I just don't see them stopping Buffalo. Now, we know Buffalo doesn't score a lot of points, but they don't need to because they don't give up a lot of points. This is a team that plays very competitive games. They're 10-6 on the season. But, Ralph, you look at their 6 losses. 5 of the 6 losses were by 7 points or less. So they're in every game. Their defense keeps them there. Josh Allen, second-year quarterback, doesn't make the mistakes, limits the mistakes. But what I like with him is he's not deemed as a running quarterback. You don't think of him like the Lamar Jacksons or Deshaun Watson. But he is a very effective runner for, if there's a third down play and it's not there, the receivers are not open, and the defense went into man coverage and they've turned her back to the line, he is going to make a productive run.
Half of his runs are probably first downs.
They're very productive on the scramble. I like this team. You look at the Houston defense, second worst in the league, 6.3 yards per play they give up. The only team that was worse than them this year was the Jacksonville Jaguars, who plain quit on the season. So I like them here. Looking at this one, you go back to Houston last week. I'm not a fan of, I know you want to rest people and sit and everything. I just think it's a disservice to the rest of the league if it's 2 teams that are out of it, fine. But, there were a lot of teams that were looking for help, and Tennessee got that line went from 3.5 all the way up to 10 on that game, and they still couldn't get the line high enough. Vegas wasn't happy with Houston either last week. That was one of their biggest hits. But, now you come in, you just turn a light switch on, and you're back to winning again. I'm not a fan of it. And you go 2 weeks ago against Tampa Bay, and this is my concern about the Houston defense. We know Jameis Winston, he's the human turnover, but he's also the human highlight reel too, because he can throw you 3 touchdown passes as fast as he can throw you 3 picks.
Interceptions,
5 interceptions, they were life and death. 5 turnovers in that game, and Houston could only win by 3 points. You get 5 turnovers. I know, Ralph, you do a lot of different stats. When you're that many turnovers in a game, you're supposed to win by more than 3 points.
Oh, I'm sure it's an 85% cover. Well, yeah. So I that's off the top of my head. Well, Marco's taken up the entire time on this video, so thank you for joining. Okay, no.
This is a Marco show, everybody.
I like the Bills on paper, but I do have my concerns. Josh Allen, 2 years in the league, hasn't played a playoff game. I think there is added pressure. You look at strength of schedule. Yes, Buffalo is the number 2 defense, points per game, number 3 yards per game, but they've played the number 29 schedule. That's that NFC East schedule, same as New England's played the easiest. They've played an easy schedule. So it's hard to say those stats are legit relative to who you played. Houston, on the flip side, has played the number 7 schedule. So some of those negative stats go to the median. So, the teams being even, the home field edge during a playoff game, we're really not sure how much that is. But I am going to the under. And we talk about defense traveling. Well, Buffalo's 9-1-1 as an away dog. Why? Well, because of that defense. The only game they didn't cover in that stretch was New England, where Brady made a 2-point conversion, or they would be 10-0-1 against the spread.
Right.
Houston, just a reminder, as the home favorite, is 1-6. Again, this margin less. I actually think it may be a negative for J.J. Watt to be back if you're a Houston backer. does the defense play differently? Does the defense think, when J.J. Watt's here, he gets double teamed, I have it easier?
Yeah.
Do I have that mentality where perhaps they think it'll be easier for him? But I think, Deshaun Watson, they keep the ball on the ground. I know Buffalo's going to keep the ball on the ground to keep the young quarterback from not throwing any mistakes. Yeah. You do have that defense, and although Houston's defense, again, gave up some big numbers, they're not playing the Buffalo offense like they are this week. So
yeah.
I do have the under as one of my top plays for the week.
I like the under too.
Minty, just to add one thing to what Ralph said about the schedule with Buffalo, I agree with you 100% that they played a softer schedule. Most of that was at the beginning of the season where their soft schedule came. Where I gained respect for Buffalo was that 4-week stretch where they played Thanksgiving Day at Dallas. Okay,
yeah.
That was a legitimate win. They follow that up and give Baltimore everything that they could handle in a 7-point loss. And then they went to Pittsburgh, and I realized Pittsburgh's offense was horrible, but their defense was great, and that was a playoff atmosphere, that Sunday night game on the road in Pittsburgh, where they beat Pittsburgh in that game, and then followed that up with another 7-point loss to New England. So they had a month where they played big game after big game, and they answered the bell in all of those games. So I agree with the soft schedule, but I think they proved themselves down the stretch.
I don't think there's any more game correlated to parlays. If you like Buffalo, I think you like the under.
Yeah.
So a Buffalo parlay, under parlay makes total sense to me if you like one of those, just to have a little fun throwing it on there, because I don't think Buffalo can get to 28. If Houston does open up the score, it's tough for me to imagine Buffalo scoring 28 on the road.
Right.
And this is a perfect teaser, too.
Yeah.
Buffalo teasing up with the 6 points, get you over the 3, 4,
I really like this matchup. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to check out our new show, Bet On It, the NFL edition exclusively on WagerTalk TV.